A love story that started on reality TV just hit 22 years, and it is the kind of milestone that makes you stop for a second and think about what it actually takes for two people to walk through life side by side for more than 2 decades. Before anything else, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bells so you don't miss fresh updates on stories like this. Trista and Ryan Sutter marked their anniversary on December 6th, and instead of a flashy celebration or some carefully staged publicity moment, Trista chose something a little quieter and, honestly, more meaningful. She posted a nostalgic Instagram slideshow, one photo from every single year they have been together. It was simple, but it carried a weight only time can create. You could almost feel the shift from newly engaged sweetness to the settled comfort of a couple that has lived through a few storms and still wakes up choosing each other. Her caption didn't try to dress anything up. She focused on love, trust, laughter, compromise, and that tricky thing we all talk about but rarely master, long-term commitment. Reading it, you could tell she wasn't trying to paint a fairy tale. I think she was trying to show the real structure of a relationship that has held strong even when the cameras were long gone. At one point, she wrote something that read just a bit clunky, maybe because she was typing fast or got too caught up in the emotion. Then she corrected herself, which made the whole post feel more genuine. It reminded me of how people sometimes slip when talking about something close to their heart and then try to put the words back together like pieces of a puzzle. Their journey started back in 2003 when they got married after meeting and getting engaged on The Bachelorette. Trista was the very first Bachelorette chosen after finishing as the runner-up on The Bachelor, and her relationship with Ryan quickly became one of the most memorable storylines of early reality romance. Back then, reality TV wasn't the giant, polished machine it is today. It was a little awkward, a little unpredictable, and honestly, that probably made their connection feel more authentic to fans. The photos she shared moved through vacations, lazy family moments, her pregnancies, even random everyday snapshots that only make sense when you've lived a life with someone. There was something sweet about seeing Ryan holding their son Maxwell in 2007, then again with their daughter Blakesley in 2009. The timeline kind of unfolds like a family album we were all accidentally invited into. Over the years, the couple continued to pop up on different reality shows, sometimes revisiting the world that brought them together. Maybe that's unusual for most couples, but for them, it almost feels like returning to the place where their story began, even if it's through the strange lens of television. One of the more interesting things they've shared recently came from a podcast conversation where they talked about intimacy, how it changes when you've been married 20 years, how it evolves as you move through parenthood and aging and everything life throws at you. They didn't try to pretend it's always easy, which, in my experience, makes their perspective feel more grounded. It's like listening to two people who know the fantasy version of marriage because they lived it on screen, but who also know the real work it takes to make a relationship feel alive after so much time. Ryan mentioned that maintaining their connection is one of the reasons their marriage has stayed strong. And maybe that sounds simple, but it isn't. Connection shifts. Sometimes it fades. Sometimes it comes back brighter. The way he talked about it made me think of a campfire, the kind you have to keep feeding little pieces of wood so it doesn't burn out. That's probably a messy metaphor, but you get the idea. Their anniversary post doesn't just celebrate love, it highlights nostalgia, shared growth, and the willingness to acknowledge both the joy and the tough parts of being together for so long. It reflects the kind of affection that doesn't need to be dramatic or loud to be meaningful. So here is the big takeaway, the thing their story quietly reinforces. Relationships last when people choose to show up, communicate, and keep trying, even when the glow of the early years fades into something calmer and deeper. What do you think about their journey?